Hello guys, this is CodeNCode and this is video editorial for the problem strange functions. Strange function taken from Codeforces div 2 round 729C. The problem was from number theory category. So let's see what the problem statement says. The problem statement defines a function f of x that is the minimum number that is not divisor of x, right? And you are given n and you have to evaluate this summation modular times power 9 plus 7 f of 1 through f of n. N can be as large as 10 power 16, so keep that in mind. So if I explain this problem with an example, so suppose n is equals to 5, so we have to evaluate this expression, right? F of 1 is equals to 2 because the minimum number that does not divide 1 is equals to 2. F of 2 is equals to 3 and so on and so forth. So the overall sum comes out to be 12. So if n is equals to 5, you have to output 12. Okay, so this is the problem statement. So let's see how we'll solve this problem, keeping in mind that n can be as large as 10 power 16. So observations. Observation 1 says clearly we can't evaluate f of x one by one as n can be up to 10 power 16, right? So we can't run a loop from 1 to n and evaluate f of I and then add it to the result, because of course n is as large as 10 power 16, so we can't do that. So it's a very basic observation, but this is important as well. So let's go, what is the observation? Let's go and see the observation 2. Observation 2, first of all, these are all of the integers and I have evaluated their f of I here, okay, so that we can use this to understand our observation better. So observation 2 says that if let f of x is equals to y, what we'll do, instead of running a loop from 1 to n, what we'll do, we'll try to find out how many numbers I are there such that f of I is equals to y, and I will be in the range 1 to n. This might not be as clear, so let's go for an example. So what I'll do, first of all, y is equals to 2. See, y cannot be 1, right? None of the number will have 1 as the minimum number which does not divide them, because clearly 1 divides everyone. So we will start from 2. How many numbers are there such that the f of I is equals to 2, right? There are 8 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So how many numbers are there such that 2 is f of I is equals to 2, right? There are 8 numbers. So how much this will contribute to the result? Of course, 2 times 8, that is 16. Okay. How many integers are there in the range 1 to n, because we have to evaluate till n only, such that f of I is equals to 3? The answer is 5. So contribution of this 3 into 5, that is 31. Same goes for 4, same goes for 5. Now see, to evaluate from 1 to 15, I only run a loop from 2 to 5, that is only 4 times, right? Running a loop 4 times, I am able to evaluate for n is equals to 15. So clearly we will run a loop from this, not on I. Okay, now there should be 2 or 3 questions in your mind. First, for a given y, how I evaluate how many integers are there in the given valid range such that f of I is equals to y, right? First question, very important question. The second question is that how do you know we have to stop here, right? The answer of this you can think yourself. If f of I, when for a given y, if f of I is equals to 0, you can stop there, right? But the first question is important. Let's see how we'll do that. For a given y, how to find out how many integers are there such that f of I is equals to y. Okay, let's see that. Now before we move further, whether you are looking for DSA or system design or full stack development, or you have just started your programming journey, you can get access to the courses and free classes for all these topics at Unacademy. Here you also have free access to live classes every day where many topics are covered which are very important for interview preparation for software development roles in top product based companies. As a subscriber, you get access to all the courses and badges taken up by best in class educators from top product companies, or these educators are among the best competitive programmers in the country. Dedicated doubt solving sessions will be there after every 3 classes in a course, and also a separate doubt support on this course where teaching assistant and educators help clearing the doubts. Most importantly, a structured learning path with a course plan designed specifically to help you in upskilling and cracking interviews. So guys, relevant batch details can be found below in the description and also the link to all free classes. You can use my code CodeNCode_UA and get access to all free resources and get 10% discount for subscription. So let's get back to our lecture. At this point, we have seen observation 1 and 2. Let's go for observation 3. Now, observation 3 is a simple one. It says that if f of x is equals to y, that means x is divisible by all the numbers in the range 1 to y minus 1, right? Take an example like 12. F of 12 is equals to 5. So 12 is divisible by all the numbers in the range 1 to 4, right? That makes sense. It's a simple one, so we don't need to prove it. These are the only three observations that we need to solve this problem. How? Let me show you this solution. So number of I says that f of I is equals to y can be calculated using this formula. N divided by LCM of integer 1 to y minus 1 minus n divided by LCM of integers 1 through y. Okay. Now how do I reach to the conclusion of this? How does this maps to the number of elements I such that f of I is equals to y? Let me tell you. See, first of all, let me just give an example. So suppose I wanted to calculate for y is equals to 3, right? So it will be n divided by LCM 1 through 2, right? LCM of integer from 1 to 2, which will be 2, so 15 by 2 minus 1 through 3, so 1 to 3. LCM of 1 to 3 is 6, so 15 by 6. 7 minus 5 is equals to 5. So you can see then there are 5 integers such that f of I is equals to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So using this formula we are getting the answer, but the question is why. So see, if f of I, we have to find out all of the numbers I such that f of I is equals to 3, right? What does observation 3 tells you? Observation 3 tells you that if f of I is equals to 3, for those numbers must be divisible by 1 and 2, right? That is observation 3. So first of all, find all of the numbers which are divisible by 1 and 2. How you can do that? Clearly you have to find the LCM of 1 and 2. LCM of 1 and 2 is 2. So all of the multiple of LCM, that is 2, will be divisible by 1 and 2, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 and 14, all of these numbers are divisible by 1 and 2. But are all of these answers? Well, 2 is, 4 is, but 6 is not. 8 is answer, 10 is answer, 12 is not, and 14 is. So there are two numbers, that is 12 and 6, which are not our answer, which are not included in our answer, because f of them is actually 4 and 5, not 3. How to remove these kind of numbers, and why are these here? See, the reason is these numbers are for sure divisible by 1 and 2, but they are also divisible by 3. So this n divided by LCM of 1 through y minus 1 can have numbers which are also divisible by y, and we don't want that, right? They are also divisible by 3. We don't want that. We need to subtract the number which are also divisible by 3, basically which are divisible by all the number from 1 to 3. How you can find those number which are divisible by all the number from 1 to 3? Again, find LCM. So calculate LCM from 1 to 3, and then n divide by LCM of 1 to 3 will tell you the number of elements, number of integers which are divisible by 1 to 3. So subtract them. That is exactly what we are doing here. First of all, we are finding all of the integers which are divisible by 1 through y minus 1. That will be n divided by LCM of 1 through y minus 1. Then these can also contain integer which are also divisible by y, right? And these should not be in your answer. So what you will do? You will calculate n divided by LCM 1 through y and simply subtract it, right? So this is also divisible by 3, 6 is also divisible by 3, so we will subtract this. 12 is also divisible by 3, we will subtract this. So this would come out 2, so we are subtracting 2, so we are getting 5. So there are 5 integers such that their f of I is equals to 3. So how will it contribute to the solution? 5 times 3, right? If I show you the solution, here it is. Result is, let me increase the font size. Result is initialized with 0, LCM is initialized with 1. We are starting from 2, right? If LCM is greater than n, simply break. This LCM actually represents previous LCM, LCM till I minus 1. Okay, if LCM till I minus 1 is greater than n, the answer will not increase. See, LCM at this point, if this is 0, then clearly LCM till y will also make n by LCM of 1 through y 0, right? 0 minus 0 is going to be 0. So if LCM till I minus 1 is greater than n, if it is greater than n, that will make this whole expression 0, because, right, we are using integer division. So if LCM is greater than n, simply break, right? Otherwise L, that is this, right, and divide by LCM through 1 till I minus 1. So that is exactly what we are doing here. Then updating the LCM, basically LCM till I, and that will be LCM divided by GCT of I LCM and times I, right? Basically now LCM will be till I, and R will be n divided by LCM till Y, basically I in this case. So R is equals to n by LCM, right? We have L, we have R, so L minus R times I, right? This will be the contribution. So L minus I, which will be 5 times I, this will be our contribution. And since we need to add it into the result, take modulo times by 9 plus 7, finally print the result. This is how we are solving this problem, and you can see this is the easy. So I'll be providing the solution in the description of the video, so don't worry about the solution, so you can use it as a reference. So yeah, if you still have some doubt, you can ask in the comment section. This was really a beautiful problem from number theory. So yeah, this was all for this lecture. Thank you guys for watching. Until the next video drops, keep coding. Thank you.